This is a special weather report from the Weather Lab.
Just updating you on the progress of this line of severe storms with damaging winds, which is spread across the Springfield area. You can see this bowing part of the line. This is part of a surge of wind energy which cut across the Springfield area. We had reports of wind gusts as high as 74 miles per hour at the airport. Had a report of 62 mile per hour gust in Republic. Also seen some scattered reports of winds gusting over 60 miles per hour in parts of Springfield. So at the very least, we've got some power outages. There's probably some tree limbs down, and there may be a few trees down as well in parts of Springfield. So if you are going to be getting out and about as the storm passes, be very careful out on the roadways. There could be utility crews out there taking care of city utilities, or maybe also clearing some debris as a result of these strong winds. You can see this arcing line right there. That is the gust front, and that has made its way across Nixa. It's making its way through Ozark right now. I think the line has weakened. I think the winds have subsided somewhat, so we may have already seen the peak in terms of strongest winds as those winds made their way into the Springfield area, but we're likely finding some winds still in excess of 50, maybe in excess of 60 miles per hour entering areas like Rogersville as well as Ozark at this hour. The winds are going to be lighter as we look further southwest down the line, but still looks like we could be looking at some wind gusts maybe on the order of 50 to 60 miles per hour. Certainly have seen some of that reported in areas like the Joplin area over the last hour. In the wake of that gust front, what will happen is the winds, as the gust front moves through, you'll notice that shelf cloud coming in. The winds are going to pick up, they're going to get real strong, and then they'll gradually die back down with winds still remaining gusty but sub-severe in the wake of that initial round of very strong winds. And then you're going to get the heavy rain, and you're going to get the claps of thunder. Are certainly finding some much needed rainfall, and the rain is good news. Sometimes you got to take the good with the bad. The rain is certainly great news for Greene County into Christian County, Northern Stone County, even Lawrence County. This has been an area that has been missed by rain over the last several days, and we are in the midst of drought conditions across especially southwest Missouri. So the rain is certainly great to see. Looks like the rain will begin to taper off in the Springfield area probably over the next 45 minutes or so as this line of severe storms continues to track on off toward the southeast. And just looking at the structure right now, I think we've probably seen the peak in terms of this strength of the line of severe storms, and those storms may gradually sort of back off as they push on off toward the southeast, but still some gusty winds very likely over eastern sections of Christian County. You can see we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning. Beth, if you could put that information up there for folks to see. A new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for areas further south. This does include Berry County, Stone County, and Taney County. This is through 7:30 this evening. It looks like that line of storms, which is racing toward the southeast, and I was looking at it earlier, it looks like it's on the order of about 40 to 50 miles per hour that line of severe storms is moving southeast. That is going to put it into areas like Branson probably in the next hour or so, I would expect. That would put it probably by 7:30 this evening. We will find that line of potentially severe storms moving into the Branson area at that point. In Cassville, it may be a situation where you get more wind than rain, as it looks like the back end of this line is starting to weaken a bit, but there is going to be a shot at some rain. You certainly will get some gusty winds, though, maybe in excess of 50 miles per hour as that gust front pushes through. Again, I want to urge folks, especially here in the Springfield area, northwest across maybe Willard, Ash Grove, Fairgrove, or not Fairgrove, but Ash Grove and Walnut Grove. These are areas that I know saw some very strong winds, and that extends further northwest, maybe into parts of northeastern Lawrence County and parts of Dade County. Please be careful on the roadways. There's likely at least some tree debris as a result of these very strong winds, and there could be some power lines down as well. And if you do happen to encounter any power lines down, the best thing that you can do is try not to get anywhere near those lines. Find an alternate route around those power lines and maybe contact city utilities or your local power company to let them know that there are lines down in your area. Beth has gone ahead and drawn on some arrival times for us. You can see this is our storm line, and you can see how it extends off to the southeast in the direction that this line of severe storms is moving. Sometimes, if you live in Cassville, looks like by about 6:44 this evening that line will arrive. Branson, again, again, I would say probably 7 to 7:30 this evening. That's going to be the window when storms will arrive there. In Harrison, if this line does hold together, maybe 7:30 or so, 7:30 to 7:45 this evening when that line of storms moves into your area. And it looks like it may have enough gas to make it all the way down to the state line, providing some, again, beneficial rains to areas further south into northern Arkansas. Beth, if we can go ahead and clear that information off, and if you can, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Beth. Beth, could you give us any updates on any reports that we've gotten in via weather chat or via viewers?
Yeah, so we've seen multiple reports of downed power lines just north of Aurora due to 50-mile-an-hour winds. We've seen downed trees in Lawrence County. We've seen several downed tree reports in Lawrence County, including north of Aurora and Mount Vernon, and then we've seen 64-mile-an-hour wind gusts as well.
And what I'm going to do here, folks, is go ahead and I'm putting our scope on. This allows us to look at the velocity data in conjunction with the radar data, the base reflectivity data, which was what we typically show you. And when we're looking at our velocity data, we're actually looking at the particles and how fast they're moving either toward or away from the radar site. And right now, when you start getting into these pinks and even oranges, that indicates very strong, likely damaging winds, which are currently racing toward the southeast across western Christian County right now and across northern Stone County. It looks like those strong winds are beginning to make their way into Galena. I would expect, just given what I'm looking at right here, we've probably still got wind gusts maybe upwards of 60 miles per hour that has made its way across the Nixa area, likely has made its way across areas like Ozark. It appears that the winds are weaker toward the north into the Rogersville area, but still some gusty winds there. And notice how those colors sort of pull back a little bit as you look further west of Galena, so the winds may be not as strong along this part of the line, but still likely looking at some wind gusts in excess of 45 miles per hour moving across northern sections of Berry County. I'm sorry to cut you off there, Beth. Any more information?
No, it's just looking like as the next radar update, it's just slowly making its way.
All right, we've got a shot right now. This is via one of our photographers that's out in the field right now. He's on the north side of Springfield, and you can see that looks like we've still got some gusty winds. You're kind of getting his dash cam view right there of what's going on. And again, this is on the north side of Springfield. Rain continues to fall. It looks like the rain isn't necessarily wind-driven, and that's to be expected in these sorts of storm scenarios. It's that phrase, the worst is first. You get the worst of the wind on the front end of the storm or line of storms, and then the winds back off. And just judging what I'm seeing right here, it looks like we still got some gusty winds. You can see the tree limbs blowing in the wind right there, but it doesn't look like it's nearly as strong as what it was maybe even 20 minutes ago as that gust front was making its way southeast across the Springfield area. Beth?
Yeah, definitely. We've gotten reports of 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. We've gotten reports of small hail. We've received several pictures of this line moving into Springfield. And just remember to stay indoors until everything has moved through. Stay in the most inner part of your house. Stay away from windows. Gusty winds can blow debris into your windows, so make sure you guys stay in the lowest tier of your house and in the most interior part of your house as well.
Yeah, and just looking at some of the reports here, it looks like there have been at least scattered reports of some limb damage, maybe some trees down. Haven't seen anything too significant here in the Springfield area, but again, there is that possibility that if you're going to be out and about as the rain begins to let up, that you may encounter either some limbs in the road or maybe a tree down or possibly even a power line down. And certainly the best thing that you can do in any one of those scenarios is turn around and find an alternate route, and especially in the case of maybe finding a power line down in the road. You do not want to try to mess with that. Let city utilities deal with that. As far as our warning information, we're still looking at severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for parts of Webster County, southwestern Webster County. This is south down into Christian County. That warning in effect through 6:45. And we still have a warning in effect for our southern tier there across southern Berry County into southern Stone and across all of Taney County. And that warning is in effect through 7:30 this evening. Again, the good news news is it looks like this line of severe storms is gradually weakening, and it will be bringing some rain into areas that need the rain desperately. And also, as these storms move in, you're also going to have to deal with some gusty winds, but I don't think we're looking at the kinds of winds that we had that were moving into the Springfield area along about 6:15 this evening. Again, we were having wind gusts as high as 65 to 75 miles per hour, at least out toward the airport and into the west and northwest side of Springfield. But still some strong winds likely on this leading edge right there. Winds likely topping 45 to 55 miles per hour along that line. So we're going to let you go with that. Again, be careful out there. It looks like this severe weather threat will be diminishing here in southwest Missouri over the next 1 to 2 hours. And after that, we can still expect maybe a shot at some more beneficial rainfall overnight tonight. And then again during the day on Friday, at least at times later in the afternoon. And I will have that forecast for you coming up at 9 o'clock on KOZL.
This is a Qatar 10 News Severe Weather Update.